This is Dr. David Allen, and I'm talking to one of the living miracles in our country. I know they're big heroes and whatever, powerful people, but I can tell you from where I sit that unless we get these young men together, we're headed for trouble. But here's one young man who described himself as hopeless, who described himself as the living dead, who came back to life and has been a tremendous blessing to me and my family. What is the living dead?
Let me see the best way I could explain it. When a child is born and you don't cuddle it and you don't coo and play with it and give it affection, that baby dies. Even if the baby survives, that same baby takes longer to learn, is less responsive, and grows up cold. So, because I wanted love from my father. I wanted my father to love me. But my father used to tell me, you no good, you ain't gonna never be no good, why you always do the things you always do? But he never said, son, I love you.
William, stop right there. That's interesting. You know what amazes me about you? You have an intuitive knowledge. Do you know what you described just now? You described Professor Trowish's stillbirth or still face experiments at Harvard. They were done about 10 years ago, where you had a mother and child, and the mother was playing with the child, and the child was rejoicing with the mother. And then the camera said to the mother, make a still face. Just look at the child, but don't say a word. The little kid started, still face. Ooh, still face. Then the child did like this. Ooh. Then he told the mother, try and come back. The mother said, oh, I love you. And the child came back. What you're describing is, if that mother kept the still face going, that child went through hyperarousal. Then the child was drifting down to hypoarousal and down to numbing out. And even though he would go on living, he's a dead, living child. You describe that experiment.
Because that's what I see a lot.
But I'm saying is you have a natural intuitive intelligence, because I can take you to Harvard where that experiment was done. I've studied it with it. And that's what we know now, and where my work with children comes very seminal, because how that child is treated in that first 20 months depends whether they live or living thrive to survive. And it seemed to me you, through your knowledge of street and experience, came up with the same understanding.
Yes.
That to me is, God bless
but
you.
But see, I only could tell you that because
what talent you must have, man.
Huh?
What talent you must have. I mean, the Lons are known in the Bahamas as very bright people, you know? And you're connected to them, right?
Yeah,
the Lons were known
as
the pretty people and the bright people of the Bahamas. So you maybe got some good Lon genes there. You should use them, man. That's fantastic how you came up with that yourself. It's called, I'll show you the reference. It's called the Still Face Experiments at Harvard.
Well, let me tell you why I mentioned that. Because society at large just looks down on the criminal and just say, well, let's lock them up. They know better. And they don't seek to understand them, where they are and what they've been through. See, it's no use complaining about them because they're here to stay. The only thing we could do, Bahamas, is get on board to see if we could do our part to help them. And helping them begins with understanding where they are. They are in a dead place. Even though they live in, a lot of them are dead. I deal with them a lot, and you could look in their eyes. So...
Wait. When you look in their eyes, William, what do you see?
It's almost hollow.
It's what?
It's almost like a hollow look.
Describe that.
I don't know how to explain it. I don't understand all of the different psychological terms, but it's almost like it's like you looking at them and they looking beyond you.
He is saying the exact thing my research has shown. I can tell by a young child on the street, you look at their eyes, and you see those eyes just look at you. There's no movement with affect, and they call them dead eyes. And then you go back to their life, and you hear the story how their father was not there for them, or they were abused by somebody sexually or physically, and the whole trauma just runs throughout their life. I remember once saying to me, I was coming to see you, Dr. Allen, and I saw a truck pulling a dead dog. And he said to me, that's me. I'm a dead dog in the Bahamas. I'm being pulled along by the society. But it's over for me. There's no way I could come back. That's what you're saying.
And that's where I was. I felt that I just wasn't supposed to make it. I came to that point of trying so much that I thought I just wasn't supposed to make it. And the only thing that caused me to come to the place where I am now is I had an encounter.
Okay, before that, because our program started because over the past 2 months, I've seen a number of young men and women who have said they feel hopeless. Some have wanted to die. Some have used rope. Some have played these internet games. You know about some of that. Some have threatened to use guns, and some have used some ways which I can't want to describe on television because I don't want it known. But really serious, serious stuff. But the key thing of all of them is, Dr. Allen, I feel hopeless, and there's no point in me continuing my life. You understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
So what do you say to them?
Well, there's nothing much you could really say to them. What I try to do is listen to them and hear them what is the source of their pain. See, because I know that feeling of hopelessness and I know that feeling of death, so when I'm talking to them, I try to find out the source of their pain and the source of why they feel the way they feel. And so when I'm able to connect with them on that level and we could get a communication going, then we begin that journey of them coming out.
That's brilliant. You know, the government should give you a scholarship to study this man because, I mean, when the brothers talk to me, I mean, I got to really learn how to hear them. Because you told me I was brought up soft, right?
Yeah,
that's all right. No, you call me.
What I mean.
You call me soft, Dr. Allen. That's okay. I know I'm soft. That's okay, but I do love. And but you seem to have that connection, man. And I just feel right now we need to release you to go and do this work in our Bahamas. Because even in Freeport, Second City kids and people are writing, I want to die, I want to die, I want to kill myself. Students, I want to die, I want to die. I don't see any hope in the Bahamas. You understand that?
I understand it. I understand it. I understand it. And what has made it even worse is because, remember now, everything just suddenly changed. There's been long lockdowns. So kids who have this natural, boundless energy aren't able to expend that. So a lot of them just were locked down.
We had Dorian first, right?
Uh-huh.
And you were involved with helping, I know, with the Defense Force people and other people with that. So Dorian hit hard. It was a terrible hurricane, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think we understand yet what happened. But that was a terrible,
and people still suffering as a result of it too.
Hurting.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress. Yeah. So you went through that, you saw that, and you helped people with that. And then right after that, we had the pandemic.
Yes.
And you say those two things came together and did what to the young people?
It It damaged their psyche because a lot of
Wait,
them
wait,
had
what do you mean damage their psyche?
a lot of them had hopes and dreams, traveling, doing different things, you know, just things you used to expend their energy. When we're young, I think us older people, we forget we was young when we had all this energy, right? And because of social media and all the different entertainment and what's out now, all of a sudden it was just cut off.
No junkanoo,
No junkanoo, no nightclubs.
no clubbing.
Right. So that in itself, what happened then was a lot of pent up energy inside of these youths. And then you got, as a result of that too, then you got a lot of relationships which strained. Because while you wouldn't mind being with someone for a while, here's now a lot of people have to be locked down with people who they don't love or don't really like. And so all of this is compounded, so you can't just say it's one thing, but all of this compounds. And so now that it's loose, this pent up energy is like it's being expressed, right? But the people who are depressed and those who are frustrated and feel hopeless, it's like nothing for them. But
mind you, the government's spending $1 million a week on food. Is food not enough? If we feed these young people, would that solve the problem?
No. You need more than that. They must be
explain
engaged.
that, because see, the government is spending $1 million a week on food. You're telling me food is not the answer to the problems?
Food is a part of it, because I want to teach kids now how to grow their own food. So food is important.
Yeah, but what is this hopelessness? If they're spending $1 million on food and other people are helping, you're saying that's not going to meet the need you see in
No,
the young
let me
people?
tell you why. Because especially a young man doesn't feel fulfilled unless he's making his own money, unless he's doing what a man's supposed to
But if he gets
provide.
a belly full of food, would that help?
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. A man who just get a belly full of food and still ain't fulfilling his responsibility, that's still gonna make him miserable, because he ain't doing nothing. He just surviving, he just existing. But only when he comes into that place where he understands who he is, and he begins to seek to work according to that, then a man begins to develop a sense of fulfillment, a sense of identity. And that's what they don't have. They don't have that. So they just grow up surviving, because a lot of them grow up in homes where there's no father, the mother's struggling, and so they're left to themselves, so they're just surrounded with each other, and so they have to steal and do different things just to survive. So we have to engage them. We have to engage them and develop positive structures for them where they can learn with their hands to do things and learn to start their own business. Because not everybody is a 9-to-5 person. I mean, even in my own life, when I was in school, people never told me I could start my own business. It was just go to school so you could get a good job. And then when I became aware and conscious, that guess what? Not because I don't have the certain amount of education mean I can't have my own business. And so they must be empowered so that they can understand for themselves who they are and why they're here. That's the main thing what I want to do in them. Because you could talk to them and they'll yes sir you or no sir you, but that don't mean they're getting it. Until they get it for themselves.
You're telling me, William, that feeding a person doesn't just give them character.
No.
Feeding is important.
Feeding is important.
And that's a great thing everybody's done, emphasis on feeding, but that does not make character.
No.
What makes character in a young man?
They must be engaged in an atmosphere by people who lovingly care for them. Even if you have to rebuke them, even if you have to reprove them, but if you do it in love and they see that you love them, see, they can see what's going on in society. Because of social media now, one time ago you got to do things and keep it in the dark. But because of the social media, they know a lot of our leaders corrupt. So they know corruption going on. So they need to be engaged.
Wait. I mean, you're saying the young people don't trust.
They don't trust. They don't trust.
They don't trust their elders.
No, because they know the authorities that be corrupt too. So how they can trust them?
Even though we can't talk specifically, but you're saying the general feeling among the young men on the street you work with and young people is that they don't trust the elders.
They don't. They don't.
They don't believe the elders have their good at heart.
No. Now you have, I'm not saying all, but I'm just telling you the general feeling, especially of the ones that I engage, the ones in the inner cities. They feel abandoned. They feel unloved. Now they know their mother loved them, but they never had that father love that could rebuke them and correct them and still care for them.
They have had their mother love, but the young men have not had father love. So you're saying father love is important to a male child?
Yes.
We're going to take a break
Yes.
and be right back.